From the Northway Bank Online Newsroom, I'm Gare McKenzie. This local and regional news update is brought to you by Northway Bank. Want a Northway Bank teller to keep in your pocket? There's an app for that. Now available for iPhone and Android. Download yours today. Northway Bank with 17 locations throughout New Hampshire. The people you know, the bank you trust. Member FDIC, equal housing lender. An explosion at a shack used for ice fishing on Lake Winnipesaukee sent 2 men to the hospital with burns. WMUR-TV reports emergency crews responded yesterday to a 911 call in Guilford. Crews arrived at Smith Cove and found the injured men and melted debris from the Bob House. The victims told crews the explosion happened when one was lighting a gas heater inside the house. The explosion blew off one wall of the Bob House, and it landed nearly 15 feet away. One victim had significant burns to his forearms, legs, and forehead. He was taken to a Boston hospital for treatment. The other victim had minor burns to his head and face. He was treated at Lakes Region General Hospital. The State Fire Marshal's office is investigating the incident. The nonprofit conservation group that works to protect the drinking water of the Ospey Lake watershed will use $65,000 in grant money to develop the first phase of a watershed management plan for the lake. Eric Senecal, program director at Green Mountain Conservation Group in Effingham, says the money is provided in part by a watershed assistance grant from the New Hampshire Department of Environmental Services with Clean Water Act funds from the U.S. Environmental Protection Agency. Governor Maggie Hassan and the Executive Council must approve use of the funds. Senecal says the watershed is larger than 300 square miles, too large for one comprehensive assessment, so the task will be broken down into smaller segments. The first phase of about 30 square miles with an expected completion date by the end of next year will focus on Danforth Pond and the lower bays of Ospey Lake, including Broad, Levitt, and Berry. The area includes land in Eaton, Effingham, Freedom, Madison, and Ospey. Green Mountain recently celebrated its 15th anniversary and already maintains an existing watershed database that goes back about 10 years. The study will include looking at structures like bridges and seeing how stormwater runoff could be slowed and mitigated to the overall impact of phosphorus on the lake. Here's Senecal.
It's really applied science. You go out and you're observing what's going on the ground and using real data to come up with some priorities for protecting things. The recommendations that will be developed are going to be very tangible. Photographs of sites, a discussion of the current condition, how it could be altered, and whether that would be an easy thing or a difficult thing, and whether it would take a lot of resources or very few resources.
A steering committee for the project meets this afternoon in Freedom. Anyone interested in volunteering or being on the committee can call Senecal at 603-539-1859. In Maine news, Mainers will soon be able to watch their politicians. The Maine Public Broadcasting Network plans to launch its Maine Capital Connection TV channel today. The channel, a kind of state version of C-SPAN, will show House and Senate coverage, plus hearings, news conferences, and State House events. In sports, the Portland Pirates got a goal each from forwards Ethan Varick and Chris Connor, and 22 saves in net by goalie Mark Visentin to shut out the Albany Devils 2-0 Saturday in Portland. Defending NCAA champs Boston College is seeking a school record 4th straight Beanpot crown. In college women's basketball, number 10 Maryland beat BC 85-62 yesterday. Jabaz Napier scored 24 points and hit 3-pointers in overtime, leading UConn to a 69-64 win over South Florida. The Celtics beat the LA Clippers 106-104 yesterday. And in the Super Bowl, the Baltimore Ravens are champions after beating the San Francisco 49ers 34-31 yesterday. In the weather today, partly sunny with a chance of snow showers. Highs in the mid-20s. West winds 15 to 20 miles per hour. Mostly clear tonight, cold with lows 1 below to 11 below 0. Not quite as cold in southern Carroll County. West winds 10 to 15. And partly sunny on Tuesday, highs 14 to 20. From the Northway Bank Online Newsroom, I'm Gare McKenzie.